even know.
Don't tease me like that.
Good. No, we got
Revenant.
Yeah,
Revenant Warrior
Ellie.
and Ellie.
Yeah, you said you used to main Ellie for a little bit.
Hello, Plague. I used to PvP with you on my Ellie. Plague trying to like forget shit. That's what Plague thinks of my Ellie.
I used to.
Alright, let's start the shit.
Show us the good news, ain't it?
Ooh, exciting! 3 seconds.
The Vindicator.
Oh, Vindicator. Alright, so Revenant
That's
first.
the Revenant. Do you like the lore they're doing with the alliance of the...
The Kurziks and Luxons were bitter enemies, but their greatest champions, Saint Victor and Archimoris, united to help slay Shiro the Betrayer.
Watch, like, look at all that
their own
time it takes to do that.
Vindicators call upon the strength of their
Some of it's slow-mo, but yeah.
Yeah, the same. I don't know how much of that is like... That's obviously slow, right?
To devastate their enemies.
So watch this jump
Their allies.
that he's gonna do. Well, not this.
Great
But
swords
I think that's
to
slow
deliver
too right there.
massive
That
attacks.
slides.
yeah, that
And
is.
crush
This here.
foes by
You're not gonna land that in
straight
PvP.
into battle, instead of dodging.
Rolly rolls. You be like stun right. It better be unblockable.
Let's go over the skills of the Vindicator.
All right, here we
Alright,
go.
let's get into the skills. So basically how this works is we're going to see, right now I'm kind of in the Archimoris Luxon side of things. We're going to see a lot of offense on Archimoris, a lot of defense and support on Saint Victor. Just a self-heal, it's also going to hit nearby
it
enemies.
hits too?
So
Huh.
another common theme we're going to see both here on Archimoris and as well in the Greatsword kit is that
Not how big
the
though.
Vindicator really
so.
wants to be in these larger fights, large AoE cleaving attacks. The Archimoris heal, we saw that hitting multiple enemies gives me might stacks per enemy struck, also applies vulnerability, gives me a little bit extra healing. Selfless Spirit, nothing too crazy going on, it's just going to be that AoE heal, going to heal yourself. I mean, nothing too crazy here.
He might not be heal traded either.
Archimoris, Nomad Advance, going to
I
go
want to
in.
see the weapon skills.
Pretty good damage
Whether-
on the skill, give some might per target struck again, hit as many targets as you can.
So
get
when you
maximum
use it
value.
at once, like the damage one, then the next time you gotta use it for the defensive one. I don't know what I think about this.
I think it's annoying to have to do that, but
It's gonna. I bet you're gonna have something like the channel elements where you can be like, you know, change it all to red or change it all to blue if you need.
Then that's going to flip over into Battle Dance. Again, more supporty, and just that backwards mobility as opposed to the engage mobility of Nomad's Advance. Some of you have noticed there's no divider pip here on the endurance bar. That
they miraged them already. They gave them one dodge only. Oh
I just
my
saw
god!
that when you said
People, if they didn't hate this already, now they do.
We'll see.
Everything's
They'll do
awkward
something-
about this so far. We'll
it
see.
is to the
Thought
world
if
already
it's
where
hammer
the
is,
Vindicator
but
doesn't
yeah.
only have access to a single.
That counts as a
What?
dodge. What he just did right there.
He disappeared. Like
He just
what
that
did he
it's that leap skill that I said isn't gonna hit anyone. It uses a
yeah.
dodge.
Dodge, and that's going to.
Wait, no, that is the dodge. Okay, never mind.
So this is a dodge.
I thought it was a skill and then it uses the.
So Scavenger Burst also going to give you quickness per target struck, in addition to just being a damaging ability. So hit a bunch of targets, get a lot of quickness, get some damage, and get some endurance.
And then flip is a ground
And
targeted
it's going to
skill.
flip over onto the similar kind of radius. This is going to give you endurance per ally affected by this, and also per condition. This is a 5 Condi cleanse. I'm going to be cleansing 5 conditions from all of these guys. It's going to give me a pretty good amount of endurance back.
Okay, so some
That's a good Condi cleanse though.
some skills it looks like or utilities give you back some energy. It looks like.
We're going to start with Reaver's Rage. So again, this is going to be a skill that you really want to
Stab,
hit the
stab,
maximum number of targets.
stun
You're gonna
break.
Get some extra value from the skill. So it's going to be PBOE damage, give you some stability initially, give you some fury initially, but then per target struck, that's going to scale up. So we see we just got 6, 7 stability stacks, as well as a pretty solid fury duration because we are hitting the
4
maximum
seconds
number of
stab,
targets
5
here.
seconds.
So you break stun for your allies. And additionally, you see it gives a little bit of stability
Oh, that's cool.
and a solid protection duration to all those allies in range, but it's also the
I'm guessing he
kind of
gets
shared
stun break. I'm guessing, yeah, shared stun break. There we go. He said it.
It's good that it's I guess it gives stability because then you don't immediately get re-CC'd, which happens a lot
Yeah.
if you don't have.
So that's going to be what you get from Awakening here. Then moving into the elite slot
Revenant.
of these characters, the Spear
Whoa,
of
look at that
Archimedes
range!
here. Okay, this is just a
2,000!
very, very powerful.
Hey, I swear to God, it said range 2,000. Range? Do I see right?
No, that is it's 2,000.
What? Oh,
That-
my ranger got some bullshit issues with this.
No, this.
What? 12-second cooldown, 2,000 range. You.
Wait, is it a projectile? That changes everything if it is. Hop on a Spirit of Archimedes to hurl his spear, that might be projectile, dealing significant damage. But at least if it reflects, it won't reflect to the rev. It'll probably reflect to whatever the spirit.
2,000. I'm still on this 2,000 range. It's bullshit.
Are you gonna swap class again?
No. No, they better give Ranger 2,000 is what I'm saying.
Look at the damage too. I mean that's PVE, I guess. It's probably gonna be lower in PvP.
There's the Spear of Archimedes here.
Let's see how long
The
it
skill is
takes.
not all that complicated. It's just a very, very powerful, super long range, 2,000 range long distance, very high damage.
Why would he not show it from max range? He should show it from max range. He only did that from like.
Bullshit. This is bullshit. I'm sorry, yo. I'm gonna complain about this. Ranger should range. Sure.
That's not
range.
what that means.
Ranger
That's not
should
what it
have
means.
range.
That's
They
not
should
what
have
that
the
means,
biggest
though.
range.
Super focused on maximizing the damage. Arkham does a lot of the heavy lifting himself with the cast time. Revenant only has a little bit of a cast time, and then Arkham will stand there, charge it up, throw at the target, and do a lot of damage to that enemy. Urn of Saint Victor. While you're channeling the urn, which is upkeep skill, -10 upkeep, this is going to start dealing damage to yourself, but you also see that allies nearby are being healed. So while you're in kind of this upkeep, it's not really a stance, but upkeep mode.
Is this like Necro where you're gonna kill yourself to get half your health? That's what happened with Necro.
Yeah, it's like the blight, but except this isn't even healing much. It looks like what's gonna happen is they're either gonna go full in support. They're gonna favor one side essentially over one. So when they swap to the other in combat, they're suddenly gonna be trashed.
Unless they go all silly. Maybe we're not seeing something yet. We'll see later, but.
You probably have to build super special for like some aspect of this build. Oh, I forgot. You can still switch to another legend. I forgot. I think people are just gonna try and make this build super tanky. Like I don't think they're gonna go this for damage. They're probably just gonna stick to Shiro.
Nah, they're gonna do like I think they're gonna do silly, but we'll see.
Maybe I'm more interested in only dealing damage because damage is great. I just want to kill the boss as fast as possible. I don't want to waste energy. I don't want to waste time casting these more defensive supporty skills. Alliance tactics. This is going to be an opportunity for you to kind of pick and choose when you flip over those abilities outside of just casting them. So if you do just want to maximize damage,
that's what I was saying. That
maybe you fire off all of the Arkham skills.
There you go. See.
And then without having to deal with the St. Victor side of these things, we're going to just fire off Alliance tactics, and that's going to flip your whole
28
bar
seconds.
back.
So there you go. You can do that one time.
20-second cooldown. Okay, so I'm looking at this dodge.
Yeah.
It goes further than a regular dodge. Technically, this guy's like off screen with how high he jumps. This looks like it should be able to jump up high over walls and shit.
So
you
you have the
go
opportunity
jump
to-
like a bunny springer into SM. No, I don't think so.
I think it's fake. I just saw when he came back down, it looked like he just appeared like halfway.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. If people can teleport up the same distance.
We'll get into the kind of key details
See, look at that.
once we get back into the traits. We've definitely seen like how a single dodge plays with Mirage since we've made that change in PvP and World v World. So Revenant does have a lot of tools that can kind of mitigate damage outside of their dodge, and we felt that it was a really interesting place to kind of try the single dodge mechanic again and see if Revenant is something that can also make that work.
People are
Next, we're going to move
People are gonna hate that this might become a trend on more classes, just one dodge thing.
into the greatsword skills. So nothing too crazy here on the auto attack, pretty standard greatsword auto attack. The final hit applies chill, so a little bit of staying mist unleashed. This is kind of the main damage payoff of the kit. Skill 2, pretty standard damage and vulnerability. And skill 3, Phantom's Onslaught, another gap closer. You can just fire that skill off without a target and dash,
That's a low
similar to
damage.
Rush. Down here, it's going to be a channel block.
Yeah.
3k there,
Or not red,
but if this
sorry.
golem actually uses, say, rapid fire on me, and I block a lot of incoming blocks,
That's
a lot
you.
of incoming attacks,
Yeah.
that's going to charge up True Strike, then we're going to see, well, I forgot to crit, so huge misplay. But the damage does increase by a pretty significant amount there. And then finally, we're going to get Eternity's Requiem, this large cluster of spawning spells in the area around you. So that's the gist of the Greatsword kit, you know, a little bit of mobility, a little bit of defense, a lot of...
I think PvEers will like it when there's a lot of mobs.
So every time that I'm swapping Legends, pretty standard gameplay for the Revenant, gonna get a little bit of healing in there, and a little bit of regen. So next up we have Empire Divided, Grandmaster damage trait. The power is only going to be applied if you have over 50% health. When you're below that threshold, it's going to give you increased healing power, enable you to sustain back up and get back into that power bonus
Yeah,
threshold.
that's not bad.
There's actually a variable amount of
2.5k will probably be way lower in PvP, but
over here on the bottom we have Saint of Zuhelzer, and this is going to be the more supporty kind of healing. Apply barrier, apply healing, and then also give you personally an outgoing healing bonus. Finally, we're going to move into the middle, Imperial Impact, Vassals of the Empire. Obviously, that buffs allies in range. This will also hit enemies in range and apply a couple of conditions to them. This one says F2. We should probably change the text so it says Alliance Tactics, Carl. And so the value of this skill is that in those cases where you're trying to make maybe that single-sided playstyle of the Alliance stance, where I'm firing off all of my Archimedes skills, all I care about is damage. I'm just firing off my Archimedes skills, firing off my Archimedes skills, firing off my Archimedes skills, and then I'm going to flip Fire Alliance Tactics. That's going to then refresh the cooldown, that's actually bugged on Selfish Spirit.
Okay, so that's one that will make so
didn't
you can do the
refresh.
damage twice in a row.
Should refund the cooldown
Sorry,
of all
Rev.
those abilities, and then obviously it's still gated by energy cost, but just makes those instantly available if you feel the need. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about more of the kind of the narrative behind that, maybe a little bit separate show, or if we have time at the end, maybe we can come back to it. Amnesty Exchange Day. Anyway, this basically says that your Legendary Alliance abilities gain additional boons. Cool. So every time I use an Archimora skill, it's going to give Might. Every time I use a Victor skill, it's going to give Regen.
That's
Nothing
a good
too
trait.
crazy, honestly.
This is on a minor trait for the Might thing. I mean, the Regen is nice though, but for the Might thing, that's a Grandmaster thing on Ellie.
Might doesn't surprise me anymore. They give Might out like cotton candy.
Struck below the health threshold is a mechanic we've seen in the past on a few traits. This one's going to do just a little bit of healing, a little bit of Connie Cleanse. Reaver's Curse. So it says, gain endurance for each target affected by your dodge. So there's potentially a lot of endurance gain if you are hitting the maximum number of targets. This is going to grant you endurance in an area when you swap legends or when you fire off alliance tactics. So this one's a little bit more of a reliable endurance gain. This one is reliant on being around enemies, being around allies. This one's just going to be value regardless, because you're always going to be swapping legends, you're always going to be activating alliance tactic. Finally, we have Song of Arboreum. This one's going to be increased vigor effectiveness, also going to give you vigor.
So basically they have one dodge, but they're giving you so many different ways to get it back quickly.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
So that wraps up the Vindicator. That's everything there is to know about
Pause. Important about Rev.
What?
I mean, endurance. It's based on endurance, right? Like, what if someone puts weakness on you, right?
Okay.
Because then weakness is endurance regeneration is, what, 50%?
Nobody looks at that.
Huh?
Nobody looks at that part of weakness.
Yes, but I'm just saying, this could counter part of the Rev. If you're building Rev to have endurance, but then, like, someone puts weakness on you, then you're...
I've never even noticed
well, because you don't play a Necro! Oh my god!
I'm talking about when it's on me, which is often.
Right, but if you are a Rev and you're based around endurance...
Okay.
This is what I'm saying, like, if someone puts weakness on you, like, that could fuck you up.
It does anyway, but not because of that reason. It's because you can't do any damage back to them, and then nobody ever just has weakness. You have like the whole freaking buffet of everything in this game.
I know.
You're tackling it like this game is actually strategic when it comes to Condis.
I'm just saying.
He's dead already before he even gets to think about that.
Right, but I'm just saying you're waiting. You're using all these trait lines for endurance for something that can easily counter it. That's all.
Yeah, in a game of chess, which this game is not. This game is Connect 4, except
I know, but people put weakness.
Columns,
People put weakness on or.